Hi guys. So today we're going to be working on setting up a website blocking system for your LAN network. So if you work as an IT professional, or even if you're not an IT professional, and you need to set up a website blocking system, or even an ad blocking system to save data for your network. Today I'm actually going to be walking you through the installation and setup process of the Pi-hole network-wide ad blocking and website blocking system. So Pi-hole can be deployed, as you can see from the Pi-hole website, on Fedora, I think CentOS. It can also deploy it as a Docker container on Ubuntu, on Debian, and also on a Raspberry Pi. I'm actually going to be setting up a tutorial in the next coming days on how you can set up Pi-hole on Raspberry Pi. That's if you actually want to have a dedicated device on your LAN network that deals with this function. So basically, Pio is a very simple to use software that can allow you to enhance the security of your organization. If usually I've actually come to realize that most of these things come about after an audit is done. To say, for example, maybe when an audit is done on your organization, and then your auditors then recommend that you set up some form of internet censorship and control measure for your LAN network. Or maybe you're just a home user and you want to protect your children and your people at home from the risks on the internet, such as certain websites, such as adult sites and stuff like that. I'm actually going to be showing you today how you can set all of that up. Okay, so the first thing that you need to do is to deploy a cloud-hosted virtual machine of some sort. The reason why I recommend that you deploy in the cloud is because you don't have to then go through the painstaking process of ensuring that the system is always running, up and running, as compared to when you actually have it deployed in your network. Say, for example, if something happens to it, maybe you've deployed it on a Raspberry Pi, and then something happens to that device, or maybe you deploy it on a dedicated server in your network, and then something happens to that network, then you then have to be manually going there to check to figure out what's going on, what's wrong with it. But if you deploy in the cloud, you then know that you've got a stable platform that is always going to be up and running, that you can depend on. Such that even if you go on vacation or wherever you go, you know that you're not going to be facing uptime problems. So we're going to create an instance. So open up Amazon Lightsail or any other cloud virtual machine provider that you're using. It can be DigitalOcean, it can be Azure, it can be Alibaba Cloud, it can be anything. All you need to do is to get an instance of a virtual machine up and running. So in this demonstration, I'm actually going to be using Amazon Lightsail because it's one of the simplest ways that you can get a cloud-hosted server up and running. So click on create instance, um, and the first thing that you need to do is to select an instance location. But in this case, I'm just going to leave it in London. And then on selected platform, select Linux Unix, and then click on OS only, and then click on Ubuntu 20.04. So this is the latest version of Ubuntu that is available on Lightsail as of the timing of recording of this video. I don't know, maybe in the near future they're going to release even newer versions, but at the time of recording of this video, this is actually the latest version. Okay, so if you scroll down, you then need to choose your instance plan. So the thing that I like about Lightsail is you've got a plan that you can choose from, where you know that every month you're actually going to be paying this much. So I can choose the $10 plan, where actually if you choose the first 3 plans, you actually get your first 3 months free. So which is actually a pretty cool thing because we're going to be getting a cloud-hosted ad blocking and data censorship server, and the first 3 months are actually going to be free. So you can click on the $10 plan, and then now need to name the instance. So we're actually going to name it. I'm just going to name it Pi-hole server. So once you've made all of these selections, you just need to click on the Create Instance button. Okay, so Lightsail is now provisioning the server, and then in the next step, we're actually going to connect to the server via SSH, and then we're going to install package updates as well as the Pile server package using the automated setup script. Okay, so now that the instance creation process is complete, we're now going to connect out to the instance via SSH. So click on the name of the instance, scroll down and click on download default key. So this will actually download the key pair file that is actually needed to connect and authenticate to the instance. Okay, so I've downloaded the key pair file, and then I'm just going to go to my downloads folder, and then I am going to rename this file. I'm just going to rename it to pi_hole underscore key. Okay, and then open up your terminal application if you're using a Mac, and then change your working directory to the downloads folder. Once you're in the downloads folder, you need to run a command that will change this file to read only. So to do that, run the command chmod 400, and then you need to specify the file name of the key pair file. Actually, it's pi capital P. Okay, so if you just type in the first letter of the file name and then you press tab, then the Mac terminal will autocomplete the name of the file. So hit enter, and then if you then run an ls command, you actually notice that the where is the key pair file here? Let me actually try to. Okay, so here's the file. This one. So you actually notice that it is now set as read only here. If you look at the first part that I'm actually highlighting now, you actually notice that it's now a read only. But if you check other files, it's read write, read write, read write, read write, and executable. Okay, so we've set the key pair file to read only, and the next thing is to actually connect. So to connect, you need to run the command ssh-i, and then you specify the file name of the key pair file, and then the username is Ubuntu. Whenever you create an instance on AWS Lightsail, you can actually check the username on the connect tab. They'll actually tell you what the username is. So it's Ubuntu, and then that's the IP address. So you just copy the IP address. Let me just copy it real quick. Why is it not copying? Okay. Okay. Let me just try that one more time. Okay. So you copy the IP address, and then so before we typed the username, right? And then you say @ and then you paste the IP address right there. Then you hit enter. Okay. So the macOS terminal will ask you if you're sure to continue connecting, because whenever you actually try to connect using a key pair file, the instance actually has what's called an ECDSA key fingerprint. So you just need to say yes so that macOS can import that fingerprint so you can connect. So just type in yes and then press enter. So you actually see the terminal notifying you that it's actually added the IP address for the instance, as you can see here, to the ECDSA, to the list of known hosts. So this instance is now actually a known host on my Mac. Okay, so we've connected to the instance. The first thing that I'm actually going to do is to install package updates. So you just run apt get update. Sorry, I actually made a typing error there. It's supposed to be apt get not Get. Okay, so I need to change to root, so it's sudo su, and then I'm then going to rerun that command once more. Apt Get upgrade. Okay, so I'm now just installing package updates. Whenever you install Ubuntu or any other Linux-based distribution, whenever you do before you do anything, you need to make sure that you first install system and package updates, so that whenever you're then going to be installing your desired software, you don't face any package version issues. So we're just going to wait for the installation to complete before we can then proceed. Actually, whilst it's installing, I actually prepared a document that contains all the commands that you actually need to install Pi-hole. So I'm just going to open up the document real quick. I'm actually going to put in a link to this document in the video description, so you can actually use this document to complete the installation, because I really was really trying to make it really simple for you guys to set up Pi-hole. So you can just also download this document, and then you can just simply copy and paste the commands that I've written out in this doc. Okay, so now we just have to wait for this process to complete. Okay, so the package installation is complete. So I'm just going to clear the screen, and the next command that you need to run is apt get update. So you just quickly run that command to update certain packages. Then once that's done, we need to reboot this instance so that the updates that we've just installed will take effect. So it should just take a minute or so to restart. I'm just going to keep trying to connect until it responds. Okay, so I've reconnected to the instance, and we're now going to use the document to actually install Pi-hole. So the first thing that you need to do is to stop the Ubuntu resolver, DNS resolver. So this will make sure that because Pi-hole also works as a DNS server, you need to remove the Ubuntu resolver so that the two packages don't clash. So you just copy and paste the first command to stop the Ubuntu DNS service, and then the second command that I'm actually copying now will actually then disable the service. So we just pasted that command in the terminal real quick. Actually, it didn't actually copy. Actually, try that again. Okay, and then I'm going to copy that and then paste that in the terminal. Okay, so you'll see an error message telling you that the Ubuntu instance is unable to resolve the host IP 172.26.12.99. So we actually need to make a change to the resolve.conf file. So run the command nano etc resolve without the e.conf. So if you open up that file, you notice that on the name saver parameter is actually pointing to itself. So you actually won't be able to access the internet if it's like this. So you need to change that parameter to a public DNS server. So I'm just going to put it on 8.8.8.8. Okay, and then once you've done that, press Ctrl O, hit enter, and then press Ctrl X. So let's just test out if I can ping google.com. Okay, there you have it. I can actually ping that. So we can actually now proceed with the installation. So we're just going to use the installation script that actually does almost everything for us. So you just need to copy that script and then paste it in the terminal. Once you've pasted it in, just press enter. So it will just go out to then install all the packages that are needed for us to run Pi-hole on this instance. So the installer will actually tell us that it will transform the device into a network-wide ad blocker. So just press OK, and then press OK, select yes, and then press enter. So you need to then select an upstream DNS provider. Just leave it on Google and then click on OK. So you actually see that Pi-hole relies on a third-party list in order to block ads. So there's a default Steven Black's unified host list that comes with the installation. So just press tab, and then once it highlights OK, just press enter. And then you will now be asked if you wish to install the web admin interface. Leave it on OK, and then press tab and hit enter. And then it's now asking us if we'd like to install with the web server Lite TTPD and required PHP modules. Just hit tab and hit enter. Tab again and hit enter. And then you now need to select a privacy mode. In this case, we're just going to choose to show everything. So leave it on the default show everything option. Press tab and hit enter. So it will now proceed with the installation, which should just take about a minute or so. I apologize for my rough voice. I think I'm coming down with a bit of a flu. Okay, so in this case, we just have to wait for the installation to complete, of which it is actually now completed, and we can actually now access the web dashboard. So open up a new browser tab, and then we're just going to copy again the IP address for this instance. Then all you just have to do is to type in HTTPS, and then you then paste in the IP address of the instance. I'm just going to paste it there, and then /admin. So if you hit enter, you should then be redirected to the Pi-hole dashboard. Let's do that once more. Okay, so it shouldn't actually take this long to load. So let me just check the terminal once again. And okay, so it's actually supposed to use HTTP. So let me actually modify the URL real quick from HTTPS to HTTP. Okay, so it's actually now loading, and then I'm then going to go back to the terminal, and then I'm then going to copy the login password. So this is actually the password that you can actually use to log in for the first time. So copy that, and then go back to the Pi-hole dashboard and then click on the login tab. So if you click on login, you should actually now see a login page. Okay, so on the login page, you just need to paste in the command that you copied from the terminal, and then click on login. Okay, so we've actually logged into the Pi-hole dashboard. So I'm actually just going to change that. So I'm just going to reconnect to my instance real quick, and then I'm going to change to the root user, and then to change the password for Pi-hole, we just need to run the command Pi-hole a-p. Okay, so it's now asking us to set a password. So I'm just going to type in the password real quick, and then to retype the password once again, and then it will tell us actually that it's actually set a new password. So go back to the dashboard, and then I'm just going to log out. Actually look for a logout option. just going to log out real quick and then log back in using the new password. Okay, so let me just type in my new password, then log back in. Okay, so the next thing that we're actually going to do is to block a website. Actually, we're going to set our router to actually use this Pio as its default DNS server. And then we're actually going to configure the router in such a way that all DNS requests will be forcefully redirected to the DNS server. And then we're then going to configure the blacklist to say we're going to configure a list of websites that we're going to block using Pi-hole.